that ye should be married to another, even to him who is raised from the dead, that we should bring forth fruit unto God.
So your relationship should be fruitful. All that should be good. Because 1 Corinthians, for time's sake, because 1 Corinthians 6:15. Actually, just read that all the way down. We're going to read also 1 Corinthians 7. So we're just going to read it from the start. 1 Corinthians 6:15 through 20.
And then look, for y'all, you just said dead to the law. You keep reading the rest of that chapter. Yeah. Going down to like verse 16 on down, you're talking about the difference between the law of God and the law of sin.
That's right.
That's in your mind. It's the law of God or the law of sin. Because whoever order you keep it, that's who you obey. So just keep reading. Somebody say right there, Romans 7:4, we ain't got to keep the commandments. They don't get down to verse 12 to tell you the law is holy. Right. And the commandment holy, verse 14. We know that the law is spiritual. You feel me? So always when you read Paul, you get stumbled up, hold on. Right. Trying to contradict. Please do the brother a first shot. Just keep reading. Right. He's going to clear up what he's saying.
Right. And on the spiritual side, when he's talking about the death of a husband, you know, it's the same thing. A husband can become dead to the script. He can become a dead individual. You know, so you're not under bondage to that, like we're saying. If he's doing things that causes chaos in the household, if he's doing things, he decides to go do this, and it's going to be detrimental to the household. If he's jacking heroin and doing things like this, he's dead. So you have to understand, in like manner, this happened with David and his concubine. When Absalom slept with them, it said they became as widows, and they lived the rest of their lives like a widow. And the same as a eunuch that made himself a eunuch for the kingdom of God. He said, I ain't going to mess with women. I'm a court the Most High. So in essence, what he did is he said, I'm going to opt out of physical women. You know, but I'm going to get on this side of the living with that because that may be a stumbling block to get me out of the kingdom. So women, it ain't like when it says you're bound by the law of your husband like that. Ain't no law in the Bible that say take abuse, because everything we just read said don't take abuse or don't abuse nobody. So it don't mean like no matter what the deal is, it's like the man said, when you read the rest of it, you will understand what it's saying. It's saying just like we were dead to Christ. It's an understanding that if he's not understanding, and it's like that, and like I said, when you get that 1 Corinthians 7, it's going to clear it up even more about being under the law. As long as he's alive, and when you're in Christ and when you're keeping the commandments, you are alive. But if he ain't, he dead. You know you're not bound by the law. You're not bound by the law to tell you, look, go out there and sell for me and bring some money in here.
Sell what?
Right. Get some money in here. No, this ain't talking about he can hustle and flow you.
Right.
Because he ain't dead. He can wander off and abandon you and never show back up for the next 20 years, leave you with them shorts. But yet you think they're still saying like this? Every law that say after a certain amount of time, he's counted as dead if he don't show. So y'all, we want to be wise in this and not just think because the Most High say, I'm not here, I come to make marriage peaceful for you. It shouldn't be a point that you hate it like that.
Right.
Let's get it.
1 Corinthians.
1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 15. First Corinthians chapter 6, verse 15.
Everybody there?
Get it done.
First Corinthians chapter 6.
Verse 15.
15.
Know ye not that your bodies are the members of Christ?
Do you understand that? That's very important, because if you recognize and understand who you are, should be acting accordingly. If you claim to be, or you understand who you are according to the script, you see what I'm saying? If you are a member of Christ's body, why would you be a perverted member of that body? That's how I call it to your understanding. You are a member of Christ. Act accordingly, therefore, you know what I'm saying? You act better, you know better, you should do what?
Better.
Let's go.
Shall I then take the members of Christ and make them members of a harlot?
That's a question.
God forbid.
What did he say?
God forbid. What? Know ye not that he which is joined to a harlot is one body?
So check it out. He's asking a question. Don't you know if you joined yourself to a harlot, you are one body?
For two, said he, shall be one flesh. But he that is joined unto the Lord is one spirit.
See how you upgrading the mindset?
One spirit.
And let's understand this, I'm not to cut you off, like sometimes the conversation has came up about a single man and a single woman. Now we're into the marriage part of this one flesh. A single man and a single woman that has made an agreement not to marry and do these things, there's no sacrifice for that. It'll bring a man to a price of bread, and it's going to create a lot of problems because polyandry could come involved with that. But this is talking about married people. Like polygamy was granted, but a married man could never marry a harlot. If he added a wife to the fold, it was one that his wife knew about. There wasn't no secret. There wasn't no sneaking around. There wasn't no birth on the other side of town that she didn't know about, because it still has to be one flesh, one spirit. Everybody have to know about everybody. There wasn't no thing called cheating back then. Either everybody knew what was going on, or you was a single man and a single woman into that activity. It's not the will of God that single people do what they do. But he's saying if marriage is not for you, you're going to either opt all the way out, or you're going to end up getting married, because if you don't, you're going to be brought to a price of bread. And this is what I mean. Every man that usually pays for a prostitute, the amount of money that he pays, he could have a wife and live pleasantly for many years. And you paying $3,000 and $5,000 for 2 or 20 minutes, that's going to soon bring you to a price of bread.
So what? You should not be doing it. You know? So even though, we say, well, okay, well, dang, it may not take it still. You feel me? That should not be your mindset. Because who the hell want to be bought to a piece of bread? Couldn't control his fleshly, lustly desires. We out in the streets now.
Warren Sapp and the other boy, what's the boy for UNLV?
I forgot.
Greg Anthony. Both was brought to a price of bread. And Warren Sapp, he just lost his whole job and contract for 2 or 20 minutes.
Verse 18. Flee fornication.
What that is? What you say?
Flee fornication.
So you shouldn't be trying to run as a member of Christ's body to harlotry.
Flat out.
You know what I'm saying? Because what does the law say? Somebody get really quick for me. Deuteronomy 23:17. Because either you should be focused on, am I dealing with a daughter? If you're dealing with a harlot, then you still transgressing the law. You see what I'm saying? You're not supposed to be in that mindset. We know that it happened and it was done, and there were prices to pay for that. You see what I'm saying? My brother saying, he brought me to the price of what? Bread. You see what I'm saying? The loaf of bread probably was one of the few cheapest things you can get in this stuff.
Right. Deuteronomy 23,
17.
17.
Go ahead, man.
Deuteronomy 23, verse 17. There shall be no whore. There shall be no whore of the daughters of Israel.
See that? So we ain't supposed to be having a harlot mindset for our daughters, and the daughters shouldn't be on that mindset. Period.
Right.
All praises, bro. That was good. That was good.
Verse 23, 17. There shall be no whore. There shall be no whore of the daughters of Israel, nor a sodomite of the sons of Israel. Thou shalt not bring the hire of a whore, or the price of a dog, into the house of the Lord thy God for any vow. For even both these are abomination.
They are what?
Abomination.
You want to put up that abomination?
Get your nation bond.
Right.
Abomination
Right.
unto Yahweh thy God.
And you see, this was about, and if we back it up a little bit, it was mainly for the temple priests. So like today, most people looking past it, they kind of identify with their children or their daughter. They kind of up the ante on them. And her daddy is a preacher, and she doing this. So you may see movies, The Preacher's Daughter. It's just from that perspective of a high priest or you being a priest of your household, if your daughter, and then when they say they should not bring up the hire of a whore, the price of a dog. So this is where the term dog come from. He's a dog. You know, he's a male whore, so to speak. And they say you can't bring that price into that. If you're making money off of her, don't bring that and put that in the collection box. Right. You know. So you can't do those type things. You can't have that as a profession and pay tithes with it. It's almost like a drug dealer selling heroin 363 days and then he give out turkeys on Thanksgiving. And then soon as the next day after that, he go right back to selling heroin again. Is that good for one day that you change your whole thought process? He's killing, but now one day he gives life, so to speak, let everybody eat, and then he go right back to the killing again.
Ezekiel 18 said, "If a righteous man turns from his righteousness and do that which is wicked, he shall die."
That's right.
Vice versa, if a wicked man turns from his wickedness and do that which is lawful and right, he shall live. So we both have this mindset. What I'm trying to get was to see, hopefully, seeing by this time, is that your mindset should be keeping your house together, honoring your wife, staying in y'all lanes, no abuse, love, all that stuff. Fleeing fornication. Read that 18 again.
1 Corinthians 6, verse 18.
We ain't got long, y'all.
Flee fornication. Every sin that a man doeth is without the body.
You understand what that means? As a man thinketh,
So is he.
so is he. So your sin starts up here. That's why Christ tried to upgrade it. You know what I'm saying? If you look upon a woman, it's the same, you know what I'm saying? And lust after her, you already committed adultery. Why? Because the sin starts here, and then once it's inside, it manifests outside. We just read it about dealing with the pearl and everything. You're supposed to have a double portion, I'm going to put it on the inside.
Right.
Always have your righteous mind on. It'll deal well with your home, your family, your community, and the world as a whole. Because we were originally supposed to be a light unto the nation.
Right, exactly. Above.
So we need to put our lights back on.
That's right.
Let's go, bro.
But he that committeth fornication sinneth against his own body.
So you running outside with this mindset to commit fornication. You sinning against your whole body. And remember, who members are you a part of?
Right.
Why would you do that?
Why would you be committing crimes against Christ? Why?
Come on, man.
Right.
Makes sense.
See what I'm saying? So when we get our mindset back right, man, we pretty much back in order. That's the whole job, is to work back toward that perfection so we can get back to the beginning, back to that order. You see what I'm saying? Go ahead, bro.
What? Know ye not that your body is the temple of the Holy Ghost, which is in you, which ye have of Yah, and ye are not your own.
Ye are not your what?
Own.
So listen, we already know spiritually understand now we the temples, right? The same thing that happened with the temples physically, dealt with the abominations, the same things you do with your temple, spiritually.
That's right.
You eat pork, pork was not allowed in the temple.
That's right.
You eat blood, blood wasn't allowed, especially about the animal blood, like that pork, you know what I'm saying, on the altar.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying? Same thing about fornication. You're not supposed to deal with prostitution, fornication, all that in the temple, right? So now, spiritually understand you are the temple. You're not supposed to be doing that with your temple. Your body was not to be meant to be like that, bro. That's why diseases in the so-called black community is higher than any other community. You see what I'm saying? But we the minority. We the minority. You see what I'm saying? Too much wickedness, man. We gotta get back to the right mind, man. Oh, go ahead, bring the precept up.
And y'all write this down, Proverbs chapter 6. Proverbs chapter 6, verses 23 through 29. Proverbs chapter 6, verse 23 through 29. For the commandment is a lamp, and the law is light, and reproofs of instruction are the way of life. This is why, to keep thee from the evil woman, from the flattery of the tongue of a strange woman. Lust not after her beauty.
Do what?
Lust not after her beauty in thine heart.
See, we just read that, man. You should be
Word
inside
in thine heart.
in thy heart. Should be inside. Listen, man. We don't like to admit it, but I'm telling you, listen, that outer cup is gonna grow old. You ain't gonna be that same fire-looking, cute mofo that you was when you was young. You see what I'm saying? So what are you really in love with? Are you in love with a God-fearing woman, or are you dealing with a God-fearing man, and y'all dwelling in a God-fearing home? That's what's gonna last forever. That's what you're supposed to be building on. Not how many notches you can get in your belt, and that's at both ends. See what I'm saying?
Junior high mindset.
Yeah.
Right.
Verse 25. Lust not after her beauty in thine heart. Dang.
Right.
She's bad, dog.
In your heart, already up here. That's why he was saying, like Christ said, if you think it, you already committed it in your mind. Already.
Neither let her take thee with her eyelids. For by means of a whorish woman, a man is brought to a piece of bread, and the adulteress will hunt for the precious life. Can a man take fire in his bosom, and his clothes not be burned? Can one go upon hot coals, and his feet not be burned? So he that goeth in to his neighbor's wife, whosoever toucheth her, shall not be innocent.
Go to 32 and 35.
Verse 32. But whoso committeth adultery with a woman lacketh understanding. He that doeth it destroyeth his own soul. A wound and dishonor shall he get, and his reproach shall not be wiped away. For jealousy is the rage of a man. Therefore he will not spare the day of vengeance. He will not regard any ransom, neither will he rest content, though thou givest many gifts. That's it, Bonnie.
That's it. Back to the Corinthians.
1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 20. For ye are bought with a price. Therefore glorify God in your body.
So you're supposed to be using your body to glorify God. You can't glorify God misusing your body.
That's right.
So you understand what I'm saying? You can't get too corny, kids.
Right.
Your mindset should not be out here jumping around.
Stay away from the whores.
You see what I'm saying? And don't make whores, men, out of the daughters of Israel. You see what I'm saying? Because you bring all kind of wickedness into the land. And I don't think we're going to get to it. I got maybe next week I'll come back, bro. When you start looking at it, man, listen. When you see most of these sexual immoral sins there, the man is defiled because of it. We can see it with Sodom and Gomorrah just as one of them.
The land be
The
defiled.
man is defiled. You see what I'm saying? Because everybody walk around with a different mindset when they chasing what they chasing. You know what I'm talking about? Right? Go ahead, Tom. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about.
Therefore glorify God in your body and in your spirit, which are God.
Flat out. Flat out.
See how y'all always they move from body and flesh to body and spirit.
Yeah.
See, you got to get past the flesh part of being one flesh. It has to be one spirit. That's going to show the graduation. That, y'all think a lot, y'all move a lot, y'all act alike, so can't no infiltrator get in between that. No matter what the deal is. That's why Proverbs 31 is saying, her husband is known in the streets. Wherever she go, they know that's Lucas woman. That's such and such wife. Known in the street, ain't gonna be no funny business. Ain't got to be put on lockdown and don't give her the key to the bars to the house. Lock up in there till you get back. How long do you think that gonna last? That's why as long as her husband is alive, you keep the commandments, you are alive. You don't keep them, you dead. You can't stay with a dead person. You can't live with decomposed flesh because that's what's going to happen to you. You either pray that it comes back to life, is resurrected, or it's what it is. It's dead, and you have to opt out. But the script say, we want to make sure you ain't playing games. Stay single for a while then. So we'll know that your husband was dead and you didn't kill him. You didn't kill him.
We had Bonnie.
We in 1 Corinthians, we'll start at 7, 1 through 17. Let's continue on. I don't know what time it is. Next chapter, we just keep reading.
1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 1. Now concerning the things whereof he wrote unto me, it is good for a man not to touch a woman. Nevertheless, to avoid fornication.
See here? That should be your mindset, avoiding fornication.
Nevertheless, to avoid fornication, let every man have his own wife, and let every woman have her own husband. Let the husband render unto the wife due benevolence, and likewise also the wife unto the husband. The wife hath not power of her own body, but the husband.
See what it is? It's just the authority. We was just talking about earlier, it's all about that, man. We get the authority when you holler at the woman's father. The father gives you permission. It's a transfer of authority.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And so we understand it's that same hierarchy. Listen, like my brother said, you can go to work and obey all these things these heathens say. You see what I'm saying? Heathens just mean other nations that were offended. You see what I'm saying? But you can't obey your husband, who you claim you love with all your heart, mind, and soul. And vice versa. That's both ways. Go ahead, bro. Go to verse 3 again.
Verse 3. Let the husband render unto the wife due benevolence, and likewise also the wife unto the husband. The wife hath not power over her own body, but the husband. And likewise also the husband hath not power over his own body, but the wife.
See what I'm saying? One flesh, one mind, one spirit.
That's right.
Defraud ye not one the other, except it be with consent for a time, that ye may give yourselves to fasting and prayer, and come together again, that Satan tempt you not for your inconsistency.
Yeah. Say it again, bro.
Incontinency.
And that's your lack of control of self-will.
Self-control.
Right. You know, it said if it comes down to that, just hold back for a time. Don't, defraud yourself like that, you not one another. We having an argument about this, and it's about this, Don't let this for the lack of your say a word again.
Incontinence.
Right. Because Satan, look y'all, this is where Satan gets in when there's arguments. This is his prime opportunity to strike.
Yeah.
Tell him when you did that, right when the argument is in. Tell her about it. That's Satan right there. Because he wants it to explode. And everybody saying, did you hear about such and such? Them, they done broke up. What? Then the rumors start flying. Say he was singing at the club buying drinks for her. Say she was at the market.
Oh, go ahead. Bring it on out.
How far were you going?
17. He put me in
Verse 6. 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 6. But I speak this by permission and not of commandment.
So Paul let you know when he's talking, I speak as a man is what we say today.
That's
I'm
right.
speaking as a man, not by command. You know what I'm saying? Trying to give you some sound advice. Some advice, but it ain't by command. Go ahead.
For I would that all men were even as myself, but every man has his proper gift in God, one after this manner, and another after that.
So we're a part of the body of God. Some are hands, some are feet, some are eyes, some are ears. We all play a part in the body.
You know what he told him? For I would that all men were even as myself. Remember, he started off in verse 1, said it'd be good for a man not to touch a woman.
Right.
But then, nevertheless, see, everybody don't have control over their members or their mind like that.
Right.
Where they like, look, hell or high water, I'm spitting this anyway, woman or not.
Right.
You feel me? So he said, but everybody don't got that.
Right.
Everybody can't be fully resolved in their mind. Be like, hey, I don't care if I can touch another woman in my life. I'm spreading his word.
That's right.
You feel me? That's how Paul was. Like, wish all y'all was like me, but hey, everybody got their own proper gift of the Lord. All right, so I'm not telling you it's a sin to have a woman. Of course not. But Paul was letting you know, I'm out here for real. Like, I ain't got no woman. I'm banging for the Lord. You see what I'm saying? He wasn't the only one. Christ himself, Daniel, in the book of Daniel, he didn't have a woman. There's plenty of brothers that, you know, just, hey, neck was on the line for us.
That's right.
Come on, brothers, get it.
I say therefore to the unmarried and widows, it is good for them if they abide even as I.
So now, see, now it's getting into different groups of men and women. And it's going to cover every individual, and this is what Paul is doing in his letter. He covers to the married, the unmarried, the divorced, the widows, and he's going to go on down the line. So it covers everybody, even the woman say, well, what about me? I don't have a husband. Or the man say, what about me? I don't have a wife. I don't see me in here anywhere. Well, he's going to cover all of it.
Notice he said in verse 6, I speak this by permission.
Right.
Not of commandment. He's giving you some soundly spiritual advice.
Right.
Because obviously, if you read this whole book of Corinth, there was a lot of problems dealing with men and women in the church of Corinth.
That's right.
Men was taking their fathers' wives, swapping wives, and all types of crazy stuff. But be better off y'all didn't touch no women. You feel me? But nevertheless, come on, bro.
But if they cannot contain,
But if they can what?
cannot
Then
contain,
you can't control yourself. You feel me? You gotta have me a companion. If they
Right.
cannot contain, come on.
let them marry. For it is very better to marry than to
You
burn.
know what that means?
Burning your lust.
Yeah, it's burning in your lust.
Not burning
Men with men working things that y'all ain't seen.
Right.
So it's better for you to go ahead and commit and be married, which is a committed relationship, than to burn your lust toward a woman.
Right.
Every time you see it, you just can't control yourself.
Right.
I mean, like, look, if you can't control yourself, you better off go ahead and do it.
That's what's going to bring you to a price of bread, because it's at that point you just can't stop. And then what happens is if you just can't, or you're trying to get that in, then what comes behind that is because the lust is so great right there, STD or unwanted children. That's what's going to happen if you keep burning. It's going to happen.
Like with David's son.
Like David's son, absolute point.
Verse 10. And unto the married I command, yet not I, but the Lord. Let not the wife depart from her husband.
So he's like, I ain't speaking about permission or as a man right here. This is a commandment from the Lord. Come on, brother.
But if she depart,
And
if she depart, let her remain unmarried, or be reconciled to her husband.
So there's no more twain with one flesh outside the home. That kind of gives you understanding. Don't be married, don't go under another authority or cover. If you ain't resolved that situation with your husband, or that little divorce like the dad from earlier, ain't been given out. You know what I'm saying? Because you caused yourself and her fall into adultery, which is a crime that was punishable with death.
that's right.
You know what I'm saying? How you kill yourself spiritually. Those crimes will still be answered for at the day of judgment. Grace period is not a free pass period. It's just time for you to get it right. That's what we should be working on, to get them houses right.
And let not the husband put away his wife.
You see what I'm saying? Same thing Christ said. It was not so from the beginning.
Right.
Your mindset shouldn't be sitting there with that divorce decree on the door. Don't call me Lord.
Right, and see, the remain unmarried is the test, y'all, to see was the argument really about life or death? Or you just got tired of it and wanted out? So if you jump right into another one, you're going to jump right back into the same situation. Right back over again, and then you're going to be on number 4, number 5, number 6, number 7, and then all marriage is to you is just the quick fix, you know. So, but right, and it started to be just a game, so to speak. It has